The Bud Buddy's gonna love this one. I want to. I believe Bud. I would beat Bud, and he cannot. That. Do. Manny Pacquiao finally does it. He finally does it, and he speaks on what would have happened, what could have happened that didn't. Legendary, what could have been a legendary fight with Terence, but Crawford. So, Manny Pacquiao in a brand new interview. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego. Hey, I'm back with some more boxing, right? Pacquiao did a brand new interview with Ellie, and he says, quote, I think Terence Crawford is lucky he didn't fight me, when he was being asked about a potential fight of what could have happened. Ego thoughts. I disagree. I am a student of the game, the best in the business, and it's not even close. I think Bud Crawford would have beaten the brakes off of Pacquiao. Jiffy Lube. I do. So there's that. Now, let me clear this up. I don't want to continue without clearing the air here. I personally don't like to do fantasy fights at all because it literally, I know fans like it, but I'm saying me personally, it literally goes nowhere. Crawford retired. Manny Pacquiao, I guess not retired now, coming out of retirement, but pretty much was retired, doing exhibitions, inactive. So it's kind of pointless. It's kind of pointless. But every so often, in times like this, I got to weigh in with my opinion if it's a trending topic. And this isn't something I would have brought up, but now that it's brought up in a recent interview, we can talk about it. So I don't so much like doing that because, again, I like conclusions. I don't like to talk about it and be talking back and forth for hours and it don't lead to nothing. I want an end result. I want a conclusion. I want to defeat you. I am competitive. I want to know that I was right and you was wrong. And I can't get that satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction in a fantasy fight that don't make sense now. That being said, and I'm not going to hold y'all. What I don't like is I don't like situations where you wait till it's too late and then want to speak up and pipe up. You know what I mean? It reminds me of like, there's a video where there was a dude, he walked off and said the N-word, right? To a black bouncer. And the black bouncer was like, hey, what'd you say? And the guy kept walking. And a girl was like, yo, I heard what you said. Let's go back and tell him. I'll walk you back so you can tell him. And the guy was like, no. So you want to say the N-word and you're walking away and the girl tried to lead you back to the dude so you could say it to his face and the guy refused to do it. So I'm not a fan of stuff like that. And that's what this reminds me of. You're like, nah, boo-boo. Nah, boo-boo. I would have whooped Crawford, but you're saying it after he retired. You're saying it after pretty much you've been retired, so we can't actually get to fight. But when you were with Top Rank and Bob Arum, and Crawford was with Top Rank and Bob Arum, we ain't get to fight. Now, my track record speaks for itself. Brilliant. Impeccable. I still got videos up. I was a major advocate for Terence Crawford when he was with Top Rank to get the Pacquiao fight. Again, the videos are up. Search it on if you don't believe me. I wanted to see that, and I knew what the problem was, and it wasn't Terence Crawford. At the time, Crawford, I believe even when he beat De'Aaron Jean, he called out Pacquiao. Max Kellerman asked him about it in the post-fight. Look it up. Right? So I do believe that Crawford wanted to fight, But the powers that be, they didn't really want that for it because they knew that if Bud beat Manny Pacquiao, that would hinder them because their cash cow would have got mollywopped. That's what I think happened. Bob Arum has an interview that you could find on YouTube, and he explicitly said, he was like, Terence Crawford, he's a good fighter. And I've known Manny for many years. Pacquiao, he's like a son to me, right? And Bob Arum had this whole spiel about how him and Pacquiao are good and he loves Pacquiao and he don't want to see Pacquiao get brain damage. So he detonated and blew up a potential Crawford fight and made sure that didn't happen. This is not Boxingego saying it. The video is on YouTube. So you can, oh, come on, Ego. Don't, oh, come on, Ego, nothing. Bob Arum said this on tape, on wax. And if you have any piece of brain cells, you could probably find it using the information I provided. Listen, I like my videos to make sense and be compact and cohesive. So I'm not always going to give you everything, like spoon feed you and pull the clip. That's just more work for me anyway. And y'all got to appreciate that. Cash App, Super Chat, Super Thanks, engagement, hype me up, hype these videos up. The more y'all do for the channel, the more you do for what we're building, the more I'll do and the more I'm able to do. So I'm not even going to pull it up. You pull it up. You do some work like I do every single day. But I just believe that Crawford, he's bigger framed, even in the smaller weight classes. He was always taller than Pacquiao. He's too stealthy, too cunning, too crafty. He could box. He's a switch hitter. I think that switch hit probably, because he's better, to me, Crawford is a better left-hander, right? So that alone, Pacquiao has never faced a southpaw as good as Crawford. Just like Errol Spence. Errol Spence had never fought no southpaw that was like Crawford. So the fact that Pacquiao being a southpaw and then he being there with a switch hitting dynamic southpaw that's bigger, Black American style, has slickness when he wants to, can be aggressive. He has great counter punching, ring IQ, better footwork. He would have cooked Pacquiao. I don't know what Pacquiao talking about right now. You know, respect to Pacquiao, but I want to Bud, he's going to bite me, right? And if I'm wrong, make the fight now then. Even though I don't think they should. Yeah, for Pacquiao's health, that's why you fighting like a 50-year-old Floyd. You don't want to fight a 38-year-old Bud, right? You barely even beat Barrios. So even right now, I would still pick Bud. Bud just beat Canelo up at 68. So no matter what, Bud could fight. And even back then. Now, I guess for, you know, the point of a fair analysis, I will say this. I would still pick Bud, but depending on when this fantasy fight happened, that could determine how competitive it was, right? Like, I think Pacquiao's best chance against Bud would have been when Bud was at 35, like way back then. When he started getting to 40 and knocking everybody out at welterweight at 47, 54, 68, no. Then it would have been worse, in my opinion. It would have been worse. But the best time would have been like after the Gamboa fight or something, right? Because he was, you got to admit, Pacquiao is a legendary southpaw who has done more than Gamboa. And Gamboa, short, little burst, and boo, 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 woo, and he was clipping Crawford. So that era, I think that would have been the most competitive. I would still lean towards Bud. Bud figures it out and finds a way. And Pacquiao's always struggled with counterpunchers. He's always struggled with people who, like, kind of aren't one-dimensional. Like, if Bud fought like Margarito, okay, then that would be something. But he don't. You know what I mean? So I believe that Crawford all the way. If we're being fair, it would have been more competitive around the Gamboa because I don't think Crawford had fully developed. He was still he got smarter, like Floyd. He don't fight like Floyd. But I'm saying as he matured, he started figuring out how he wanted to deal with guys a bit better, didn't necessarily always engage when the moment was not right, sharpened up his punches, maybe upped his training and cardio. Because the Gamboa fight was a shootout. So if Gamboa could give you a shootout, Pacquiao definitely could. But all things considered, I would have picked Bud over Crawford pretty much in any era. But the most competitive one would have been when Bud was at 35 and Pacquiao was at 47. You know what I mean? Let me know if you agree with this take.